Hey you guys, and welcome back. If you want to see this project today and how we took something bleak and turned it chic, then just stay tuned. Alright, we have arrived at the Goodwill, so let's go on in and see what we can find. Look here what we found, you guys. These 2 bar stools. Check it out. $5 each piece. So we're going to take these and doctor them up. We're going to get these painted up and looking just fine. All right, here we are at Walmart, and here are the stools that are very comparable to ours. I don't know that the ones we got from Goodwill came from Walmart, but they feel just as sturdy. They look like they're the same construction and everything, 24 inches. And let me show you what they're ringing up here. Okay. All right, so we've got the Walmart app pulled up. See how much these are going to ring up. $21.90 unfinished. All right, you guys, it's time to get started on this fun little project. You're going to notice right there we had a 3rd stool just given to us as well, so that was an extra bonus. You're going to notice right here how horrible the paint job was on these stools and what bad condition they were really in. So it was time to get down to the nitty-gritty. To remove all of that old paint, I am using a very coarse grit sandpaper and an electric sander. Now you can do this all by hand, but of course that's going to take a whole lot longer. An electric sander is going to be your best friend for projects such as this. I'm going to remove all of the paint that I can and get down to the natural wood. For any spaces that cannot be reached with the electric sander, I'm going to use some good old-fashioned elbow grease. The 3rd stool that was given to us was made just a little bit differently, and it required that I take a screwdriver to pop out those screw hole covers. We're going to fill those little holes in with some wood putty to make the legs smooth like the other stools. Once you've removed all the debris from around those holes, take a small spackle knife and begin filling those holes in with the wood putty. This could take 2 coats, and it is definitely going to take about 24 hours for it to dry. Those holes are pretty deep. Now you can remove the extra buildup with your sandpaper until you get a smooth finish. Now it's time to remove all of the dust and debris so we can begin the actual painting process. To paint my stools, I decided to use a spray paint that had a paint and primer all in one. However, this turned out to be a long and tedious process because it was super windy and there was a lot of overspray. So I probably would suggest that you use a chalk paint or even a quart of paint with a paintbrush. Your product is going to go a lot further, and it's going to save you money in the long run. Once it was all dry, I decided to go ahead and add the little felt pads to the bottom of each leg. Just simply place it right in the middle, give it a little pressure, and voila! The top of these stools were wood and awfully hard to sit on, so we decided we wanted to add a foam cushion. I bought this 2-inch foam from Walmart. I set the stools on top and then just drew out the circumference of the seat to get our soft liner. Next, I put a self-healing cutting pad underneath there so I would not mark up my table, used an X-Acto knife that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and just began to cut the foam. This process took a little while because you've got to dig down through those 2 inches of foam, but with a little bit of patience, you're going to get it done until it's nice and smooth. To know exactly how much material I would need to cover the seat, I laid the foam pad right on top of my tape measure. I pulled that to about a 2-inch space underneath the stool that would give me plenty of room to work with as I was going to staple. I pulled that all the way through, got my 2-inch mark on the other side, and this let me know how big I needed my square of material. I measured out that length on both sides and cut a perfect square. It is important to iron out all the wrinkles before you get it on the surface of your furniture. The next step was to get that foam pad onto the stool. So to do that, I used this spray adhesive. Now, I normally would not recommend that you do this indoors, but as you can see, we still do not have our flooring down, so a little overspray was not going to hurt inside our home. For you, I would suggest you take it outside. Make sure you press firmly, allowing that foam to stick to that spray adhesive, and you should be good to go. Before applying your fabric, I would definitely recommend that you take note of the composition of your stools. As you can see, some of the rungs are a wee bit higher than other ones. They have to do that in order to be able to screw them all on. I know that whenever I push my bars underneath the countertop, I want them all uniform, facing the same direction, and that is going to greatly affect the pattern of my fabric. So, take note of that before you begin. For a project like this, you will need a staple gun, some staples, and of course a hammer for the staples that don't go all the way through. Then you're going to want to lay out your fabric according to the composition of your stools. Once you've centered your stool on top of your fabric, go ahead and trim those corners. I found that to be a whole lot easier when working with the excess. Then start stapling your fabric on. Be careful that you don't put your staples any further back than those legs. You do want to keep it fairly close to the front because that's going to make trimming away the excess fabric a whole lot easier. Work on opposing sides, pulling your fabric nice and taut. This will alleviate all the extra wrinkles and give you a nice tailored finish. And work yourself all the way around. Once you're done, go ahead and start trimming back the excess all the way down to those staples. Because we have the brush nickel in our home, I thought it would be fun to bring that element down into the stools. I picked up these little decorative nails in the hardware department at Walmart, but you can get them at any hardware store. It's going to require a tape measure and a rubber mallet to finish this project. Cover your mallet with some of your fabric to avoid scratching the surface of those nails. Now begin right in the center point between two of your legs and just begin pounding those nails right into the wood topper of those stools. Once you have that nail securely in place, take your tape measure. I chose to measure off 1 inch, but you can put these as close together or as far apart as you would like. Hammer in the next one, and then we're going to follow that same process all the way around the stool. And looky there, isn't that a beautiful touch? Finding these little stools at the Goodwill for just $5 each and being given that third one for free was an incredible value. You guys saw that at Walmart, an unfinished stool is still more than 20 bucks, and you're still going to have to take the time to finish it off. So make sure you shop your local thrift stores. You'll pick up some great finds, put in a little bit of work, and voila, take something from bleak to chic in no time at all. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon in the next video.